everyone, it's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer, and I'm so excited to bring you this very important video. What do each of the planets do in your chart? You know that you're not just your sun sign. I've done so many readings lately where people are like, oh, I didn't know Mars meant that. Oh, I didn't know Venus meant that. I did a reading today. Somebody who had 1 planet in Aries, 3 planets in Taurus, and they had their moon in Cancer. They weren't just a stereotypical textbook Aries, right? We have to blend it all together. So I'm going to help you in this video understand what each planet means and brings to you in the tapestry of your wildly gorgeous natal chart. These are going to be refreshing the basics, but you know me, I go a little deeper. I really want you to understand the planets and what they do and what they mean. Then I'm going to go into each individual planet in a lengthier video, but this is going to give you a broad overview of all of them. It is so important for you to understand that the planets are the function of the chart. They show you how you function. So I want you to think of the planets as a verb, not an adjective. So the sign can show you the description. If you have Mars in Pisces, your Mars is going to be the function. Let's say it's your sexual expression, and Pisces is going to show you how you do your sexual expression. So first of all, you guys know that the Sun through Mars are your personal planets. Those are uniquely yours based on the day you were born. And Jupiter through Pluto are generational, and their orbits are much slower. When they are in aspect to another planet, they are massive game changers because they move so slowly. The house in which your planets are in and your birth time are so important. Your birth time determines which house the planets will fall in. So let's talk about the sun. The sun is the power in your life. It is your life force generator. It is also your talent. It is your creative essence. The sun is the creation of you. So it can also be your father figure, and it represents the pure essence of your soul, how you express yourself and how you express your creativity. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an artist to be creative. How do you create anything in life? That is your sun. It is your radiance, your illumination. It is your unfiltered joy. It is your talents and how you contribute your talents to your life. I could honestly say it is also your life itself. The sun is your vital energy that makes you uniquely, vibrantly you. Okay, the moon. The moon is how you get your emotional satisfaction and your fulfillment. It is your need for intimacy, your emotional security, and it is your emotional, heartfelt expression. How do you express your emotions? And if you don't express your emotions, that's also your moon. So this is your connectedness to others and your closeness to others. This is your emotional needs, desires, wants, and cravings. This is how you will nourish others and how you will ask others to nourish you. This is your emotional dependency or your emotional independence. This is also oftentimes your mother and how you survived your early childhood. This is how you survived your culture, your roots, and your family. And this is actually your entire emotional makeup and your emotional fulfillment. So does your moon in your chart have harmony with other planets? If they do, they will become emotional facilitators. Does your moon have emotional discordance, or does it have difficulty or challenged aspects to other planets, because that can create emotional stifledness? Okay, Mercury. Mercury is your mental process. It is no small thing. It is this big noggin up here. It's how you think, how you communicate, how you talk. It is how you speak or don't speak. Do you not speak up? Do you raise your hand? Do you sit in the front row or the back row? Are you hungry to learn? Or are you not curious at all? It is the measurement of your curiosity. It is how you verbally manage conflict and debate and how you express your opinions, your thoughts, and your ideas. It's how you learn and how you teach. It is your relationship also to truth and understanding the truth. How and what you love learning about, your mental capacity, and it's also your relationship to worrying. So do you have Mercury in positive or negative aspect? Tell me where you have Mercury and tell me what positive aspect you have Mercury in your chart and what negative aspect do you have. Mercury is also going to show you how you share with others. Are you open or closed-minded? Are you on offense or defense in your language and in your speech? Mercury is the key to rewarding communication and learning, and it is so important to have a well-adjusted Mercury. And if you don't, gotta learn how to work with your Mercury. By the way, Mercury retrograde in a natal chart is not a bad thing. It just means that you internalize the mental process. Mercury is the planet closest to the sun, so it's changing frequently. Every 3 to 4 weeks, Mercury is going to change its sign. Okay, let's keep going. Are you guys following me? Where do you have Venus in your chart? Tell me where you have Venus, because this is your planet of love. This is the function of love in your life. This is the function of self-esteem and self-worth. And this is your resources. In today's world, our resources are power, food, money. So this is your resources. It's our relationship to loving ourselves and feeling worthwhile. It's also our relationship to money. It will show us our social skills. It will show us how we gain and lose confidence. So where your Venus is, that is the gateway to how you gain self-esteem and self-worth. So if you've got Venus in Libra, you will gain or lose self-esteem through other people, through your relationships, where you feel personal inadequacy, but it also shows you your social gifts. It shows you your deep inner pleasures. Everything that you believe and you feel makes life sweeter, what your preferences are and what you actually value. So if you have Venus in Scorpio, you value privacy. Your anonymity and your secrecy is very important to you. You also value depth. So tell me where you have Venus by sign and by house. It is also your natural talent for experiencing pleasure in your life and creating harmony for yourself and for other people. Are you a pleasant person? Are you a kind person? Answer me down below. Do you consider yourself nice and kind and sweet and pleasant? That's your Venus. Do you consider yourself rough around the edges and gruff and kind of angry and pissed off and irritable and irritated and nothing's going right and woe is me? That can also be your Venus. Venus in your chart by aspect, by sign, and by house is going to show you how you're going to develop your self-worth. It's also your relationship to beauty. Do you pay attention to it? Do you feel like you need to be dolled up, made up all the time? You prefer natural things, environmental beauty? So let's talk about Mars. Mars is your chi, energy, it's your animation. It's literally how you move your hands, how you talk. This, I am showing you right now how my Mars moves. Can you guess my Mars? Can you guess it just by my animation? You know, if I was sitting back, this is Mars, you know, that's your Mars. That's your life force energy. I want you guys to guess my Mars. My Mars is pretty easy to guess. If you know me, and you guys know me pretty well, I've done over 250 videos, and this is my real personality. I think I really, really have a strong Mars placement, meaning it's obvious. This is your power. This is your will. This is your animation. This is your movement. This is your sexuality. This is how you will compete. Yes, this is the competitiveness in you. This is your will and your willpower. This is what you will live and die for. Whatever you're willing to die for is your Mars. Yeah. If you have Mars in Cancer, I bet you anything. You are willing to die for your family, your parents, your children. It can show you also the violence in your life and the violence within you. We all have the potential to be violent. We all have the potential. I'm not saying we all are, but your Mars will show that part of you. So how do you assert yourself? That's your Mars. Do you assert yourself? That's your Mars. What do you do when somebody violates you or a loved one? That's your Mars. Whatever it is you do, that's your Mars being expressed. It's also how you will separate yourself from others. It's how you will cut people out, cut people up. How do you do it? Do you just ghost? Do you just like evaporate like a Mars in Pisces? Or do you have a hard confrontational conversation that says, you know what, you're not doing it for me anymore. I'm out of here. You just don't meet my needs, like an Aries. This is also how you'll be bold. Are you bold? Do you speak up loudly? Do you force yourself onto others? How are you super bold? Do you wear bold colors? The tone of your voice, in your posture? How are you bold? And it is your sexuality, your sexual expression. How do you express yourself sexually? That's your Mars. And Mars stays in a sign for about 6 to 7 weeks before it changes signs. Let's talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is going to change signs about once a year, every 12 to 13 months. So it's kind of an easy one to track. When you're in class in school and you're in 6th grade, everybody's got the same Jupiter pretty much. I mean, there's going to be 2 different Jupiters depending when it shifts. But this is your higher mind. This is your abundance. This is where you are exaggerated. So do you have a big Jupiter? If you have a big Jupiter, you're probably really, really exaggerated. Yeah. And if you are a Pisces or a Sagittarius, this is your ruling planet. You probably have very big feelings if you're a Pisces, and if you're a Sagittarius, you probably have a very big optimistic expression about yourself. This is our most expansive planet. Think about Jupiter being 13,300 times the size of Earth. Imagine that. That is your Jupiter. It is big time. Even if it's in a shire sign, it's still massively big. So like Cancer, a little bit of a shire sign. But if you have Jupiter in Cancer, it means you have giant emotions. It represents the beliefs that govern you. What do you believe in? That's your Jupiter. So tell me where your Jupiter is in your chart, because where it is shows me what you believe in. It's also the area in life where you have natural good fortune, where you have blessings, where, you know, the gold stardust just sprinkles down on you. It's where the glitter is in your life, if you will. Like, oh, it's just all the good stuff. And it's where you can overcome limitations and really set yourself free. It's the visionary in you. It's also what your higher mind likes to study or learn. It's your higher education. This is where you will develop faith. This is where you might develop deep religion inside of you or spiritual growth. Saturn stays in a sign between 2 and 3 years, and it is the planet of dun 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 karma. Yes, it is your lessons. It is your hardships. It is your Achilles heel. It will show you where you absolutely must. It is imperative for you to grow and mature. And guess what? This is where life will grow you. It is your relationship to your responsibilities in life and where you develop fortitude, tenacity, resilience, and strength. It is the planet that builds concrete things. It's the part of you that shows the process of fulfilling your social obligations in a public way that creates a sense of deep pride or deep personal achievement. You know, it will also show you your fears and what keeps you from fulfilling your ambitions. So it's a little bit sad. It's sadness in your chart at times because it's where you feel oppressed or repressed or suppressed or held back. It's where you have to overcome yourself. It will show you also your long distance endurance. You know, it's the marathon in your life, your self-discipline, and where you have an enormous ability to see things through. Are you steadfast or do you drop the ball? Because if you have a really strong Saturn, this is where you will have a lot of commitment. And your Saturn creates a lot of dedication and loyalty. So Saturn is going to show you your purpose, your direction, your social responsibility in this life. lifetime. It shows where you're going to become an authority in life. Where do you have Saturn? That's where you're going to become an authority. It is actually the power of your personal commitment to contribute to society, the betterment of society. Saturn is the part of you that you'll need to face to grow and to stand up to. You have to stand up to your Saturn. You have to embrace it. It is your heart. It's your collective hard lessons. It's where you must put in sweat equity and work hard in your life in order to get the payout, in order to find the deep fulfillment and the kind of fulfillment that is filled up with genuine self-worth. How can you succeed practically? What do you need to overcome to be successful in your life? That is Saturn. Uranus is the rebel in you, and it changes every 7 years. It's where you're not going to conform. It's how you disrupt systems and structures in your life because you don't want to play that way, because you want to have a breakthrough. You want to modernize, futurize. You want to invent or reinvent that part of your life. It's where you're deeply dissatisfied and you want something better and more efficient, effective, something that produces bigger, better results. It's where you experience a deep, deep sense of personal independence and where you absolutely have to express freedom in your life or you might die. It's where you can be a little bit unpredictable, and it's the part of your life that's a little bit eccentric, different, and unique energy. So what house is your Uranus in, and what sign? So even if you have Uranus in Taurus, it still wants to innovate that very traditional part of your life. The house that this is in is show you where you must have excitement and independence and giant personal freedoms. I kind of call this the planet of the French Revolution, or just the revolution. This is the revolutionary part of your chart. You have to have new forms of freedom in order to find success or fulfillment or satisfaction or happiness in this arena in your chart. It's where big emotional disruptors can occur, because this is where you can be a dissenter, a separationist, where you can actually alienate others, and where your eccentricities can make others feel like you're just not on board. Why? Because you're not in that part of your life. This is also where you'll be innovative and do things differently than those who showed you the way. This is where you're going to bring really advanced thinking, and where you're going to want to modernize antiquated processes. I just want to ask you guys, do you all know me? Is this our first meeting? I really hope not. And if it is, please go watch all of my videos. Just binge your own sun signs playlist to start with and watch all my videos here. And if you guys are feeling stuck, you can get a reading from anybody over on my team. Just go to soulnavigation.com and click book a reading, and we will be more than happy to get you on our schedule. Also, you guys, my soulmate masterclass is around the corner, and I have just a few more seats left. If you are seeing this and it's past June 4th, 2022, you can buy the masterclass in my shop tab. The link is good for life, but I cannot wait to teach you guys all about how to read your natal chart in understanding who your soulmate is. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And it's going to be 2 hours, June 4th, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Just go check out the notes section below, and I'll put the link there, and you can study at your own pace. Okay, let's talk about Neptune. It is your visionary self. It is your subconscious, your imagination. It is your dreams. It's how you connect to the subconscious. And that could be done through meditation. That could be done through hiking, through a bubble bath, through yoga. It is where you actually transcend Earth, and it is your spiritual sense. It is the planet of dissolutions, where the edges dissolve in the material world and you step into the limitlessness of your life. Wow, say that 3 times. The limitlessness of your life, right? Where you are boundless. If I was to get rid of this body and my soul was just to escape it, That's Neptune. This is also a place where you will find self-defeating patterns that you have developed. This shows you where your expectations are so high that they become ideal or idealized. So if you're living, let's say you're living in a relationship with a partner who's just truthfully never going to change, but you hold on every day thinking it's going to change, it's going to change, it's going to change. But the writing on the wall has been such where it just never really changes and you delude yourself. That's your Neptune. Let's say you have a child who's just terrible to you, but you can't discipline them because you don't want to hurt their feelings. And you just have this illusion that if you're nicer, they'll be better to you, but they never are. They just become more and more spoiled. That's Neptune. It's where you've got rose-colored glasses and you don't quite see reality. This is also the planet of drug addictions and alcohol addictions. It's where you develop self-defeating patterns. It shows us also your expectations, where your expectations are so high and your disappointments are so devastating. That is Neptune. Neptune will find that the fairy tale needs to be altered. So Neptune is the fairy tale in your life, and maybe the fairy tale that comes true or doesn't come true. It can be crushing. So how prominent is your Neptune? If your Neptune is sitting on your soul, whoa, it's massively creative, but you can be deluded too. So you can deceive yourself. I want you to really study your Neptune. It's how you define the ideal. It's also how you will sacrifice things in the real world to make the ideal happen. This is your relationship with the divine. This is your divine contract with spirit, your relationship with universe. If you step into the stillness of your life, you can truly feel the palpitation of your soul, and you can receive your divine messages from your angelic beings, your spirit guides, your spirit masters. That is the conduit of Neptune. It's the magic carpet ride in your life. This is the higher octave of Venus. It is your unconditional ability to love. This is how deep, or well, how not deep, that you trust in universe or a higher power. So where's your Neptune? Do you trust in a higher power or do you not? Is your Neptune, blocked, or is it kind of shut down, or is it illuminated? Let's talk about Pluto. Pluto stays in a sign for every 12 to 15 years. So we don't get to see Pluto in all the signs. We get to see Pluto in, 3 to 6 signs in a lifetime, only half the zodiac if we're really, really lucky. Pluto represents the deep transformation in your life. It's where you're being asked to transform at the soul's level. It is where you will walk across hot coals. It is the dark night of the soul. It is the death and rebirth. It is the phoenix rising from the ash. So if you have had near-death experiences where you have died and revived yourself, that's Pluto. It shows us where you will develop a deep fearlessness or a deep, deep, deep empowerment, where you will transform your own obstacles, where you can kick off the shackles and you can really step into the full-blown power of your soul. It shows where you don't like to change, where you resist, but also if you do, in fact, face the fear of changing, this is where you get the biggest amount of transformational growth and empowerment and power and success. There's a tremendous amount of will inside of Pluto. Now, not everyone can do their Pluto in a lifetime. Not everyone can do their Pluto, period. Pluto is a very hard planet to do. So if Pluto is in good or easier aspect in your chart, it is very, very helpful. It's the part of you that is the hardest part to look at or to face. It shows you what is repressed inside of you, where you are unaware, and what you need to discover. When you work with it, it can give you gargantuan empowerment, and self-mastery can be found in your Pluto eventually. It is where you will stagnate and where you must push. You have to force your way through. It's like breaking through that cellophane wall, or a brick wall, to be honest with you. But your life cannot be genuinely advanced or evolved, or I even think fulfilled, without this kind of Plutonian growth. personally, that's my personal opinion. If you get stuck in your Pluto, it is very, very, very painful. The universe does not want you to skip your Pluto lesson. I feel like we make our karmic contract more difficult in our next lifetime if we do skip it. So I recommend that you get brave, put on your body armor, and step into your Pluto power. So tell me where your Pluto is in relationship to your sun, in relationship to your Mercury, because that will show you if Pluto is easy or hard for you. This is the part of your life, like I mentioned, where you will be required to walk across hot coals, where you will go down into the hard to hear truths about yourself, where you will be forced to get real and get exposed. And in return, if you're willing to do all of that, you can step into your deepest self. It's where you're going to be forced to shatter your ego. So where are you holding on extra tight? Who or what are you trying to control? That's your ego. And Pluto, the universe, will come in and shatter that. And when you learn to surrender, right, that's your ego. And the control, that's Pluto. You know, where you're neurotic, that's Pluto. So it's where you feel like a part of you has died only to be rebirthed, to be born again, to be stronger and to be better. It's total humiliation and then genuine pride in the end. It becomes your healthy consciousness. I can't wait to hear where you have your planets. And if you have questions, please put them in the comments below. I try my hardest to answer them. Please subscribe. Please subscribe and put your notification on, because if I answer your question and you have your notifications on, then you'll get a little ding, Meredith answered your question. And I want you to see the answers. Why? Because I want you to learn. I want you to grow. And I want you to understand yourself through the astrological lens. All right, everyone, this is my video on the meaning of the planets. I hope that you got a lot out of this. I can't wait to answer your questions and to see you in my soulmate masterclass. From my home here in gorgeous Seattle to wherever you are at in the world, I wish you the very best. Bye for now.